Today is a good day, guys. I am standing out here in front of my 1971 GMC and my dad's 62 one-ton, and we're gonna be doing an engine swap. So this truck right here is my 1971 GMC 2500 Camper Special, and it's got a nice big block in it, 454, some heads, intake, headers, nothing too crazy. Great running truck though. This thing has been running like an absolute top lately, and just in time for me to pull the engine. And the reason for that is because my dad's truck right here has a small block 350 in it, and it has just not been cutting it. So I was talking about getting rid of my truck, and my dad needed an engine. He needed something with a little more power because we tried to tow with this thing and it just was not doing what we needed it to do. So I'm gonna give him my engine and we're gonna go ahead and swap over these engines. So I'll be putting the big block from this truck into this truck and the small block from this truck into this truck. Should be a good time, guys. We're gonna get into it. So it's always sad when you have to get rid of a vehicle that you absolutely love and you've been enjoying and has been worked out. I've worked out so many kinks on this truck as of lately, and you know, 100-degree weather, 3-hour drive, doesn't care, doesn't matter, she just goes. But I'm gonna give her one last start just to let her go a little bit. You can hear how it sounds. I really like this truck, guys. Starts up, runs, fantastic truck. It's gonna be hard to let this thing go. Okay, we got our radiator drained, everything disconnected, hoses and all that. Gonna be pulling that out. Should be ready to go because it is super tight. Now look at that. We actually had to shave down the plastic on these fans just to get everything to fit correctly because she is a tight fit in this truck. But gonna go ahead and get this radiator out. We'll move on. Okay, radiator's out. Got a bunch of other things disconnected. The fuel pump, power steering pump, a bunch of the electrical stuff over here, vacuum lines, you know, all the little stuff that you gotta deal with on this. I'm sure I probably missed something. You always seem to miss something, and right when you pull it out it gets caught and you're like, ah, crap. But seemingly it's all going pretty smooth so far. This is just going to be the quick version. I'm not going to do a full step-by-step on this, you know. And I got to get under here, I got to get these back bolts and disconnect the starter wires. And luckily there's actually a whole bunch of room back up in here, so that one bolt right up on top that always gives everybody trouble is fairly easy to get to in this truck, so that's pretty sweet. Yeah, we'll see you guys in a second. Moving through this pretty good. Got all the bolts in the back disconnected, got the engine mounts already disconnected, took off this valve cover right here. And this is going to be the tricky part for me because I am doing this by myself. So I got to jack it, move it, rotate it, twist it, all the fun stuff that I can do by myself. So this is probably the hardest part of the entire pull, and I am going to be trying to pull it with these headers still on. I think it'll clear. I'm really hoping it'll clear. I don't want to run into some issues with that, but either way, if I get it up and I can't get it off with that, it'll be easier to pull when it's out. So now just time to yank this thing on out of there. Okay, check it out, guys. Engine is out. I did had to remove the headers, both of them. I probably could have left the passenger side on one. On one? I don't know what I'm saying. I could have left the passenger side one on, but being by myself and trying to have to wiggle it while lifting up and doing it, it kept getting caught under a lip and I couldn't quite get it to go. So I was like, you know what? It's up in the air, super easy to take off. Go ahead and do that. And I didn't have anything snag up, nothing else to disconnect. This driver's side one definitely was not going to clear. It was wedged in between the transmission bracket over there and this over here. I mean, it's a pretty tight fit in there. Yeah, overall pretty easy. So we'll go ahead and throw this one in the garage, push old rustees back, and then onto this one. All right, so that actually went pretty smoothly, if I do say so myself, aside from, well, may have made a little bit of a mess. Forgot about the coolant inside the engine when I set it down, and oh boy. But all went pretty good. Now we're moving on to this next one. All right, guys, so it is a new day. I got about as far as I could last night. Got off work kind of late, so only had about an hour and a half, but I actually got pretty far on it. Only have the engine mount bolts the bell housing to take off, and the flywheel bolts, and then it should be pretty much ready, I think, unless there's something random that I forgot and is going to get hung up. Working inside the garage today because it's raining outside. Don't exactly have a whole lot of room in here, and I put the big block right in the way, but I think I'll figure it out. It'll all come together soon. So see you guys in a second when I'm pulling this out. All right guys, so it is out. Came out fairly easily. I think it was a little bit more difficult than the big block and rustees, but that was put in more recently, so this one was a little more gunked up, and bolts are a little more difficult, and four-wheel drive made it a little harder to reach some stuff, but man, not too bad, I'll say. But I do think this is probably the easier part. The 350 will go into rustees, I think, pretty easy. That shouldn't be any issues, but fitting the big block in here might have its own challenges. Guess we'll see how it goes. But it's dark, it's raining, so we'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, so we are pretty much ready to be putting this thing in. Just swapped over the engine mounts and took the exhaust out of this truck, because we will not be keeping the exhausts on here. It's like dinky little, like 1.5-inch exhaust, maybe not that small, but we're gonna be putting 3-inch exhaust on here from rustees. And guys, I think it's gonna go pretty smooth. I'm looking at this and just how much space there is, and I'm really hoping. The only thing that is the problem with this truck right here, so the 62, I don't actually know what years it is, but I know in the 62 you can see kind of like right there and right there where there's some markings. It's from where we tried to put a big block in it before, and you have to like dent in or cut out the firewall, and we didn't want to do that, which is why we ended up with the small block 400. But now that it's got this new frame, and I think this frame is about 2 inches further forward than the old frame, and also it's got like it's about 2-inch body lift on it now, so it gives us quite a bit more room. So really the only thing I'm worried about is those two locations, but everything else is like, I mean, this thing is super open. It should go in and down pretty easy, and whether or not it lines up perfectly with these mounts, that's what I'm hoping for. So we'll see how it goes, guys. Well, there you have it, folks. It is in. You know, a little bit of tweaking here and there, a little bit of wiggling, and oh boy, she fits though. All right, everything is going pretty smoothly so far. Got the engine mount bolts in. I got this side header in. This was the one I was worried about, and it's super tight, super tight, but I was able to get it in, so that's mounted up. This one goes in super easy, so I'll be doing that one here in just a second. Still got quite a few things to button up. Temperature plug right there. Got a couple vacuum lines. Got all the bolts in the back. Everything. Did the starter too. Those wires kind of pain in the butt because I put the header in first, and then I remembered that I had to do them, and I should have done them first, but you know, it goes like that sometimes. All right guys, so we are getting to a point where I'm about to stop for the evening, and there's still some more to do to this, but we are to a point where I think it'll fire. So as you can see, there's no radiator, haven't gotten that far yet, and had to disconnect the power steering pump. We have no throttle linkage connect up, and some of this actually needs to be gone over, and my dad needs to come and decide what he wants to do with it, because we have 2 return lines on the other engine, the other power steering pump. So this truck actually requires 3 lines off the power steering pump, and this one only has 2, and our throttle linkage doesn't connect right now. He was actually talking about replacing it because he kind of did a quick fix on the other one and wanted something better, and mine is quite a bit different. It was all cable, so that's not there yet. You can see my oil pressure line. Had to do a fancy little multiple step to get the right fitting necessary, so we'll have to replace that too. Plug up a couple of these vacuum. I don't have the transmission vacuum line put in yet, but just a couple things until she's ready to rock and roll. But I think at this point, guys, right now it should be looking like it's gonna fire, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and try and start it, make sure I did an all right job. Bit of a noise warning because it is still just open headers, so I'm not sure how loud it's gonna be on camera, so fair warning. But we're gonna go ahead and see if we can't get it to fire. Fuel, maybe. Oh, is the battery dead? The battery's dead. Son of a gun. Oh boy, I don't know how it died. It was unhooked. All right guys, take 2. See if we can get a little better luck out of this. and I just tripped the breaker for the garage. Man, this is not working out too well at all. Okay guys, this is officially take 3. I feel pretty good about it. I had 2 heaters going on and plugged into the wrong outlet, so that was my bad. Let's hope this works. Oh my god! Nope. Oh boy, that was loud, and that that scared the crap out of me, guys. I jumped so bad. I was not ready for it to start up that fast. Oh man. Well, she runs. Shoot. I know it's cold out, so letting it warm up like that is just obnoxiously loud, but let's see if we can get it to idle at least. Well, didn't want to idle. But it's cold. I don't want to give it too much. No water in or nothing. But guys, so we're running engine. Oh man, super stoked. Super stoked. Alrighty guys, I got it all buttoned up, I think. Pretty darn close. There's a few things that still need to be done, and that's gonna have to wait until my dad gets back and he can decide what he wants to do with it. So I actually got the throttle linkage hooked up. It's not perfect by any means. You know, the location for the springs and everything is different on this truck, so I know he wants to change this up a little bit, and right now it doesn't like fully, it doesn't open up the 4 barrels or nothing, so it's not enough movement on that from the pedal, but it's pretty close. It'll work for kind of just moving it around and doing all that kind of stuff. Radiator's in, no water or coolant in it yet. I think I'm gonna put just some water in it for now, make sure everything's kind of tight so I'm not leaking nothing and I didn't mess up anywhere. And then I'll drain it out and dump some coolant in there and let it mix with the water that's probably in the engine. So should work out pretty good, guys. I'm excited. Got a battery charger on it just so I don't have any more of those problems that I had before. But the idea here is just kind of, I'm gonna back it up out of the garage, make sure things are kind of working, get the engine running, let it warm up a little bit, make sure it idles and I didn't mess anything else up, and kind of tinker with some stuff. Need to move some vehicles. Got rustees kind of in the way, so I'll have to push that. The Cadillac's back there, so go move a couple vehicles and then I'll pull her out, let her warm up, put some water in it, and see how everything's going, guys. Tell you what, I like moving the Cadillac a lot better. All right, guys, so it's the moment of truth. Gonna fire it up, move it backwards. Everything should go pretty smoothly. I think it was already running, so I didn't really mess with much else of that. Hopefully when I start it up, it doesn't scare the crap out of me. Still open headers, so it's gonna be loud, noise warning, but we'll see. Put it in park, that'd probably be a good idea. We'll see. It should move backwards and I should be able to move it back, put some water in it, let it warm up, and see how it does. There we go. Well, she's still not wanting to idle, but oh, there we go. Just barely. Oh man, okay. Okay, we're gonna get there. Taking a lot longer than I expected. All right, we are moving. turn this idler screw up, I think, just a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna turn that up just a little bit. Well, I actually had a transmission coolant line that kind of got pulled on just a little bit and wasn't quite fully connected, so I tightened that up real quick, and I upped the RPM of the idler, so it should idle much better now. Let's see how I did. There we go. That's no throttle, it's just idling high now. Should be good. Let it come down. Oh yeah, that's much better. Come on. Come on. You know you want to. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so she's idling. Oh man. Open headers on a big block sounds so dang good. Alright guys, so before it gets too warm, I'm gonna start putting some water in it. And I'll be back. Okay, so I was actually struggling with it to get it to burp in the system. But man, she is holding steady now. Got some antifreeze in there. Woo, there we go. I have no power brakes and no power steering, but we are moving. And just because it's fun. All right, I guess I'll quit terrorizing the neighbors with how loud this is, but there she goes. All right guys, so we do have a break in the rain here, but I want to do a little bit of a walk around. We're going to take it on, maybe not its first drive, but done a little putting around with it so far. I think my dad went and filled up the gas tank and stuff, but kind of getting it all squared away. Got the exhaust mounted up so it's no longer open headers. Still need to get some cutouts in it because it's just kind of coming out here on the side, but man, she's been running beautifully. Definitely a lot more power for this truck. We're gonna go take it on a quick cruise and see how it does. Well, Jack, what do you think of Grandpa's new truck? Good. Yeah, you like it? Yeah. Yeah? Well, she's running, she's driving, she's moving really good. What do you think? I'm happy. Comes back from vacation, now he's got a big block. Kind of hard to beat. Almost kind of feels like it's running out of fuel. Yeah. I don't have a kick down. Yeah. Definitely moving a lot better. A lot better. Way more torque, way more horsepower. Definitely a much better feel. And that big block sound. Yeah, you can't beat it. That sounds good. Yeah. stepping into the Hall Scott territory with that. She is a bouncy ride though.
Not too bad.
Well, more bouncy in the front end than it was. Yeah. I mean, the rear end with those airbags was definitely really bouncy, but this kind of whole thing jumps around. What do you think, Jack? Does Grandpa drive like a crazy man?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you heard it there. Okay guys, so that's it. The 62 1-ton 4-wheel drive with the big block 454. She's running, she's driving, she does great. Actually, you know, it's wet. I was able to break the tires free a little bit. Very, very cool truck. Super excited that it's running good. Definitely getting it worked out. Very, very fun. And guys, we got more coming. Got some very cool, exciting stuff in the works for, well, all the trucks, but even some more after that. So you'll be seeing a lot more. Probably end up seeing some of that too. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.